Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 8th chapter, and verse 19. So the chapter name is titled as the Narayan Kavach Shield. Okay. So let's start with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 I offer my respectful assistance to you. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiyai. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the personality of God and Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of heaven, unto Sri Saraswati, the Father. Nashtangareshu Adeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nishti. By recognizing the verses of the Bhagavatam and by making services to the pure Guru, all of these verses and the almost completely destroyed. Loving services unto the personality of God, who is Christ transcendent source, is established as an irrevocable fact. I was born in darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes to the trust of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So, today, the verse that we are covering, this chapter is titled as the Narayan Kavach, the Narayan Kavach Shield. So, this chapter talks more about the conversation between the Vishwarupa and the Vishwarupa is the demigod, demigod Brahmana. So he is the king of the demigods. So this Kavach is especially for the protection of well-being, because in the last chapter we covered that Indra did some offenses, some mistake. So after that we realized and we started inquiring about the solution. And now in this chapter is all about praying different incarnations of Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna for the protection. Okay. In all of these protections we are covering one of the verse which we take protection from the three incarnations of the Lord. Okay. This is the verse. So Vaipayano Bhagavan Aprabodat Buddhastu Pashanda Gana Pramadat Kalki Kale Kalamatat Ripotu Dharma Vanayoru Krutavataraha
Vaipayano Bhagavan Aparabhat Buddhastu Pashanda Gana Pramadat Kalkiya Kale Kalamalata Prapatu Dharmanavari Krutavara Dvairayana Bhagavana Prabodha
Srila Vyasa. Everyone together.
Srila Vyasadeva, the giver of all Vedic knowledge, one, the most powerful incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prabhupada, from ignorance of Shastra, Buddha too, also God Bhakta, Vasandagana, of carries his radiant disillusion of innocent presence, Pramada, from madness, Kalki, Lord Kalki, the incarnation of Keshava, Kale, of all
Karanmala, from the darkness of the age, Prabhatu, made correct, Dharmavaya, from the production of religions in its source, Guru, delivered, Krutavatara, who took an incarnation. Translation of the prophecy. Translation, everyone together?
May the personality of Godhead in his incarnation as Vyasadeva protect me from all kinds of ignorance resulting out of the absence of Vedic knowledge. May Lord Buddhadeva protect me from activities opposed to Vedic principles and from laziness that causes man to madly forget the Vedic principles of knowledge and ritualistic action. May Kalki Deva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared as an incarnation to provide religious principles, protect me from the death of the age of Kali.
Who would like to read purport?
This verse mentions various incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who appears for various purposes. Srila Vyasadeva Mahamuni compiled Vedic literature for the benefit of all human society. If one wants to be protected from the reactions of ignorance, even in this age of Kali, one may consult the books left by Srila Vyasadeva, namely the four Vedas, Sama, Yajur, Rig, and Atharva. The 108 Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, Brahma Sutra, Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahapuran, Vyasadeva's commentary on the Brahma Sutra, and other 17 Puranas. Only by the mercy of Srila Vyasadeva do we have so many volumes of transcendental knowledge to save us from the clutches of ignorance.
As described by Srila Jayadeva Goswami in his Dasavatar Stotra, Lord Buddha apparently described the Vedic knowledge. Nindasi Yagna Vidhir Ahashruti Jatam Sadaya Hridaya Drishta Pashu Khatam Keshav Dhritta Buddha Sharira Jaya Jagat Ishahari. The mission of Lord Buddha was to save people from the abominable activity of animal killing and to save the poor animals from being unnecessarily killed. When Pashandis were cheating by killing animals on the plea of sacrificing them in Vedic yagyas, the Lord said, if the Vedic injunctions allow animal killing, I do not accept the Vedic principles. Thus, he actually saved people from people who acted according to Vedic principles. One should therefore surrender to Lord Buddha so that he can help one avoid misusing the injunctions of the Vedas.
The Kalki Avtara is the previous incarnation who vanquished the class of atheists born in this age of Kali. Now, in the beginning of Kali Yuga, many religious principles are in effect. And as Kali Yuga advances, many pseudo-religious principles will certainly be introduced. And people will forget their real religion, religious principle enunciated by Lord Krishna before the beginning of Kali Yuga, namely principle of surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord. Unfortunately, because of Kali Yuga, foolish people do not surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. Even the most people who claim to belong to the Vedic system of religion are actually opposed to the Vedic principle. Every day they manufacture a new type of dharma on the plea that whatever one manufactures is also the path of revelation. Atheistic man generally says, Yata Mata Tata Tata. According to this view, there are hundreds and thousands of different opinions in human society, and each opinion is a valid religious principle. This philosophy of rascal has killed the religious principles mentioned in the Vedas, and such philosophers will become increasingly influential as Kali Yuga progresses. In the last stage of Kali Yuga, Kalki Deva, the previous incarnation of Keshava, will descend to kill all the atheists and will save only the devotees of Lord. Yes.
As I discussed earlier, this entire chapter we're going to discuss about the Narayan Kavach. Narayan Kavach is not like some physical yantra, something like tantra. Is Narayan Kavach is the combination of different mantras. So like you might have seen in India in India, so in marriages or any other spiritual activities, you might have seen like Brahmins, they touch their head and like they feet and like with the kusha prayers and like they say some mantras. So this entire chapter, you are seeing that Vishwarupa, the Brahman, he is explaining to Indra regarding the different productions that he can take.
So Vishwarupa is Brahma.
He is a Brahman.
Brahman.
With three heads.
He has three heads. Yes. So he is explaining the entire mantras to Indra for his protection. Okay. And to move on to the next level. So here in this verse, we are discussing the protection starts from the three incarnations of the God. Okay. The first one is Vyasadeva. Okay. The Vyasadeva, the main thing that he mentioned here. So we need to here first we will discuss like why we need to take protection, why we are taking protection.
Because there are a lot of negative energies that we are in material world and Maya, I mean most of material nature will definitely
Okay. Any other answers? So you can say like to save oneself from not knowing the Vedic principles, especially when it's come to Vyasadeva. So the main thing that we discussed, the point that Srila Prabhupada given is all kinds of ignorance. What is ignorance means?
Not knowing.
Huh?
Not knowing.
Not knowing, yes, not aware of. We are not aware of our scriptures. We are not aware of our Vedic principles. That is ignorance. If you don't know the Vedic principles, that is the ignorance. So here is clearly mentioned all kind of ignorance is. Can someone read that?
Yeah, which one?
The first one, I will just say.
Yes, there are all kinds of ignorance resulting from the absence of Vedic knowledge.
No.
Lord Buddha Maya.
Yeah. So that's it. So absence of Vedic knowledge is very important. And when it's come to Lord Buddha there, okay, we need to pray to Vyasadeva for the like absence of this Vedic knowledge. And when it's come to Lord Buddha here, I can say more about Vyasadeva. Like here it's mentioned this particular Vedic knowledge is called Brahmaviccha. Okay, like what we are studying right now in the BTech, or like we are doing diplomas and we are doing so many other stuff in materially. This is not called as a knowledge. Okay, this is not at all called as a knowledge. The Vedic principles only called as a knowledge. Can you know why?
It takes us back to Godhead.
I think in the last part we read like Vedas are considered as the mother, and if you want to know your father, the mother is the best option. So probably that way.
Can you repeat the question?
So why the knowledge that we are receiving in the material world? I mean, like the data that we are receiving, we are studying every day mathematics, science. People are studying computers and everything. So people like here in scriptures is mentioned as it's not knowledge.
Maybe because it's ascending knowledge, not descending knowledge.
Not descending is, I don't think so. Not ascending knowledge. It's ascending knowledge. Day to day is
I
improving.
mean, what we study is descending knowledge here,
Mm.
and in the material world we study ascending knowledge. We study the information available to successful outside. But this knowledge that we study here in the temple, Vedic knowledge, is descending. It's for the inside.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Because it teaches us about the absolute truth.
Yeah.
Vedic knowledge teaches you who you are, or the other, educational degrees teaches, those degrees teach us what the world is.
Maybe because, probably because whenever you learn like science and stuff, it's like trying out material stuff is going towards that side. The other one is like more like towards God. That's probably the difference.
Okay. We will discuss this topic more. Why we are calling only the Vedic knowledge is the actually Vedic scriptures is the actual knowledge. Why not the material subject that we are studying? So all the material subjects and anything that is which is not connected to the God called Jada Vicha. Jada Vicha, Vicha which is not complete. Vicha which is not Jada Vicha. Vicha. Vijam is not.
Vidya.
Okay. So okay. So now this material knowledge is finished. Whatever we are studying is it finished?
No. To survive today,
Okay.
we need to have.
It's only to apply it correctly, to turn it into the service.
That's very good point. It's actually the subject that we are learning here is not ignorance, but under the guidance of the spiritual master, this knowledge can be doubted into the very useful information. We can use it in Krishna service. For example, like if you see yesterday Mataji is decorating most of the stuff like in upstairs. So is using her knowledge in Krishna service. We can dovetail our knowledge in Krishna service with the help of our Guru. So otherwise, if we don't use it in Krishna service, the knowledge that we are learning outside, that is considered as a ignorance. Okay? So that is Jadavijna. So now whom we need to take protection to for resulting this, remove this ignorance is Lord Buddhadev or Lord Vyasadeva. So that is in the first Vyasadeva, the first line. Vaipayanayo Bhagavan. Vaipayanayo Bhagavan means it's Lord Vyasadeva. Okay. The second line is Buddhastu Pashandadana Pranada. Okay. So Buddhastu Pashan, after we gain some particular knowledge, the Vedic knowledge or something, still we misuse it. We don't apply it in our life because of laziness. So to remove that laziness, we need to take shelter or we need to take protection from the Lord Buddhadev. That is the second line. Someone say what like that?
Activities opposed to Vedic principles and from laziness that causes one to madly forget the Vedic principles of knowledge and ritualistic action.
So next third line is Kalkihi Kale Kalmana Prapadu. So if you see in this particular Kali Yuga, you can see a lot of philosophies every day. The new system in the Vedic culture, like people they come up with so many different philosophies, and it's very convincible sometimes when we don't know the actual truth. So we should not be convinced to those philosophies which are mundane. So to get that protection, to do that, we need to take protection from the cultivator. Okay, these are the three incarnations that we are going to discuss today, more a little bit further. Okay, sorry. So my question here is, we are talking about these Vedic principles. I'm like, what are these Vedic principles?
Whatever is mentioned in the Vedas.
What is mentioned in the Vedas? What they Name a few of them.
Like cow's urine is healthy, there's a lot of bacteria, it's good for human body, for the environment. So we can challenge it. It's to be applied in the life as it is.
Yeah. Yes.
Rigved, Samved, Yajurved, Atharvaved.
All Vedas. Yeah. Any other? Oh?
Krishna.
Krishna. Okay. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is simplified this Vedic principles. Whenever asked, like, what you are learning, what is Vedas means, there is Lord, 108 Upanishads, all the 4 Vedas, and from that it's divided into Brahma Sutras, and Brahma Sutras again divided into the subdivisions. So all these are different, it's divided into so many parts. Okay. So when someone asks, like, what is this Vedic principles? So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simplified very easily in the way that he divided into 3 divisions. Okay. So like if you see, what are those?
Religion.
Okay. If you know these 3 things, that means you know the Vedic principles. That is very simple. Very, very simple. We don't need to talk about any other scriptures. We just need to talk about these 3 things. If you see, according to the Vedic principle, these 3 stages are very important for the spiritual advancement. What is Samandha Jnana means? Can someone read it?
What is your relationship with Supreme God?
What is your relationship with Supreme God? It's like the original relationship with Supreme God. What exactly is it? Okay. So if you know Samandha Jnana, so then you know like what is this Vedic principle says. And what is Avidya?
Knowledge which tells us who are we and who God is.
So it's actually a constitutional relationship with God. Pretty simple.
What is the difference between both of them then?
So here, what is your relationship with Supreme God? It can be like your permanent servant. Okay. And here in Avidya is knowledge which tells who are we. We are servants of the Krishna. We are soul. We are not body. And as well as like who is God? God is supreme. Knowing God more is supreme. Prabhu, is it right? And would you like to add more?
Sambandha is the knowledge that you need to connect to God. Avidya is a work in the principles. The action.
Action.
That's called Avidya.
And the third one is Prayojana. Prayojana is refer to the ultimate goal of the life which develops. Love of Godhead. So having relationship with, or re-establish our relationship with the God again. It's a Prayojana. It's a result. So that's all. If you know these 3 things, unlike a human being has no other work than simply understanding this. That's what's said by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we must continuously worry about this prayojana thing to re-establish our relationship with God. That is very, very important. Okay, let's go to next slide. So in this verse, when we have read that like Vyasadeva is written all these Upanishads and like Vedas, and he wrote most of our scriptures, and like when he is contemplating on the absolute truth, he experienced a few things. He experienced Krishna with all his energies, okay, all incarnations, and like as well as various amsas, swamsa and vibhinamsa. When he is experiencing that, like he saw that the miseries that we are taking on daily basis every day. In vibhinamsa is like move further, swamsa means God himself as a, Prabhu, can you explain these two things too? Please, please. I will use it.
It's a very detailed subject, but yeah, again, expansion of how Lord is into realizing to very four categories.
So here, when the Vyasadeva is contemplating this knowledge, like absolute truth, so Vyasadeva consider this miseries that what we are facing is superfluous. There is one Bhagavad verse which mentions Vyasadeva, what is this like? So I will show you that. So the superfluous fluous means these miseries are not deeply experienceable. They really don't touch our soul. Those miseries only related to this body. Okay. So show that verse here. So when he is doing that, Vyasadeva started thinking in such a way, if he can, if I can, I mean Vyasadeva, if I can establish the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and establish the real pure devotional service to the Krishna, then this superfluous miseries can be mitigated easily. So to establish these two main things, he wrote all these books. The first thing is to establish the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to establish the supremacy of the pure devotional service. That's it. So, with that intention, he gave us. Anyone knows what is that? Yeah. Satvata Samhita. Satvata Samhita means Satvata means is a book of Vedic knowledge. Samhita means book of Vedic knowledge, and Satvata means completely pure Vedic knowledge that he has given. That is the highest one. Out of all of these books, the most important book is Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so we can find the same words in Srimad Bhagavatam. So can anyone read this?
Material mysteries of living entity which are superficial, superfluous to none, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation to the supreme truth.
So here one thing that we need to understand here. But the mass people do not know this. Okay, how many of you know about Srimad Bhagavatam before you come to Krishna consciousness? No, Srimad Bhagavatam.
Only because the show Little Krishna, when it starts, it shows that all these pastimes are based on Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay.
So
See, most of us we don't know Srimad Bhagavatam before we come to Krishna consciousness. So these books are very, very important. So in this verse, because we are taking protection from Vyasadeva, we need to, the only way that we can take protection by going through these books to understand what he is trying to say. So now this Vedic knowledge is always compared to Kalpa Vriksha. Anyone know what is Kalpa Vriksha? What? Desire fulfilling tree. That means whatever you ask, it will give. Anything. Except Krishna. Any other? So we can say Kalpa Vriksha of knowledge. If you see, there are different branches. This knowledge is always this tree is always has different branches. The knowledge is organized in different ways. Okay. So if you try to understand the knowledge here and there, just touching one branch here, one branch there, one branch there, okay. But if you are actually not connecting with the root, the Krishna himself is the like, if you're not surrendered to Krishna, if you read these Vedas, okay, I read Vedas, okay, I'm the good scholar, okay, it doesn't work like that if you don't surrender to Krishna. That's why we always need to connect with this truth, okay, that's very, very important. So in modern days also we are having mind maps. Mind maps means like the data is organized in our mind in particular way. So this Vedas is also organized in such a way. So, but we need to understand what is the root of the knowledge is surrendering unto Vishnu. It's very, very important. Okay. The three that we build up is considered as a proper knowledge. So that is called Brahma Vichya. Whatever like Vidya. Vidya. So if Krishna is not there in the root, you study knowledge here and there, branch, it is called Chadicha. There is no use learning that knowledge. Okay. So this entire tree has only one ripened fruit. Anyone know what it is? Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes. So we need to work on, we need to start studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So it's very, very, very important. So out of all the scriptures, all the Vedas that is given by Srila Vyasadeva, the Srimad Bhagavatam is magnanimous contribution. There is no other words for this. Like this tells about the Supreme God, the love for the Supreme God. So we must read Srimad Bhagavatam on daily basis. It's very, very, very important. And even more magnanimous contribution is given by our grand spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, which we got access to this Srimad Bhagavatam. How many of you know, like, any one of you saw any Srimad Bhagavatam books before you come to Krishna consciousness? Any other writer or anything? First of all, they cannot write. I know only one Srimad Bhagavatam book that I gifted from my grandfather, that is from Gita Press. This is only 3 long books that has only the translation. That's it. There is no purport in there. Sloka and no synonyms, only the translation. It's just 3 books. But Prabhupada spent his entire life, he spent his nights to give this knowledge to us, creating 18 books, explaining each and every word. And it's only for us. It's not an easy thing. Is that a question? So Prabhupada is our spiritual master, who he made this Bhagavatam is available to all, especially in English language. So Prabhupada quoted in different places about this knowledge. If you see, someone can read it. The first one.
Depicting all his ecstasy in his writings.
Prabhupada mentioned in some classes, his ecstasy is putting into the words. Okay. It's not like he's just writing for fame to known by people. He's trying to give his ecstasy to us. Okay. So if you want to experience Prabhupada ecstasy, then you must read the scriptures. And second point?
The words are ecstasy, they all are Satchitananda.
Yes. So Satchitananda, all these words what is given in this book is Satchitananda. These are eternal happiness. So people must have guts to speak like this, to say like this. Okay, it's not an easy thing to translating all the 18,000 verses of the Sanskrit into the English to translate them. In English, how many words we have? 5K, 6K. The verses is more than this 5K, 6K. So to put it in Sanskrit, we have lakhs of words, and each word has hundreds of meaning. To change the entire 18,000 verses into the English, translating them is not an easy task. not an easy task. And like when speaker want to express their ecstasy, their experience, the language is also like should be like the rich language. Rich language in the sense it should give the chance to speaker to tell his experience, his ecstasy. But here the words are limited. So that's why Prabhupada mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, the starting of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So he is giving this knowledge for the mankind, who is like, if you see here and there, everything there are miseries and there are wars and there are fights. So I am just giving this knowledge for mankind, even there is some limitations to translate in English language. So he is externally free. Like it's not an easy job. So after this, so this is what mentioned by Prabhupada. Can I summary?
Human society at the present moment is not in the darkness of oblivion. It has made rapid progress in the fields of material comforts, education, and economic development throughout the entire world. But there is a pinprick somewhere in the social body at large, and therefore there are large-scale quarrels even over less important issues. There is need of a clue as to how humanity can become one in peace, friendship, and prosperity with a common cause. Srimad Bhagavatam will fill this need, for it is a cultural presentation for the spiritualization of the entire human society.
But this is the reason that Prabhupada is translated all the Sanskrit scriptures into the English and he bring it to West. So and what Prabhupada also mentioned, so there is some limitation to certainly to change this in foreign language. But Prabhupada hopes that people who are honest, they will accept these descriptions. That's why these Vaishnavas, they grab this knowledge without any second thought. So if you see, like, they respect it a lot when it's compared to India. Like in India, there are very less Srimad Bhagavatam class. Here, if you see, they grab this knowledge. Like they understand the value of this very principles. So this is very the greatest contribution from Srila Prabhupada. So this is why did Srila Prabhupada did these all things? So there was a conversation with one of the Srila Vyasadeva. So there was a conversation between Srila Prabhupada and one of the Rameshwar Vasi. So Rameshwar Vasi, like the person who resides in Rameshwar. So he asked Prabhupada, hey Guru, like everyone is so surprised seeing you, like you have a lot of knowledge. Like how it's possible? Like even your God brothers, they didn't write this many books. Like how did you got this knowledge? Where did this knowledge come from? Prabhupada said, accepted. Yes, my God brothers tried and they started writing books, but in the middle they passed away halfway through. But Prabhupada mentioned, like, how did you get this knowledge? He said that Prabhupada mentioned, this is not my knowledge. I have zero involvement in this. It's a Srila Vyasadeva knowledge. I'm just an instrument. He always passes credit to the Acharyas. He always passes credit to his Guru, to Vyasadeva, and to Krishna. He never said this is your neighbors. Okay. It's very, very important to being humble, even if it is a lot of service. Just pass our discredit to our gurus. So here Srila Srila Prabhupada, if you see, he says Vyasasana, he didn't say Srila Prabhupada. He said Vyasa Puja, he didn't say like Srila Prabhupada Puja. So that way he is telling that whatever we are doing, like, is just the mercy of the Srila Vyasa. So that's why we must take the protection from the Srila Vyasa to have this knowledge. Okay, so that is the first part of the verse. And like, but there is a verse in the verse that is called Pramada. What is Pramada means? Pramada means is like ignorance. Okay, so what is the problem with ignorance? Like we can live in the ignorance. Right? Anyone tell what is ignorance means? What is the problem with ignorance? Like you can live without this knowledge. You can live. So many people are outside there. It destroys. Brings suffering. 100% correct. This ignorance will bring suffering. Okay, people can live with ignorance. Okay, why should I study these many things? So many people outside there. But not only this life, this suffering will be with you all our other lives. Okay, it's a karma. So it's very important to understand. So to connect to Krishna all the time and read Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so in Pramada you can see like there are few things that are laziness in understanding the truth. Even Chaitanya Charitamrita, like Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Maharaj, he is also against this laziness. He mentions so many places about this laziness. So don't be lazy to understand Siddhanta. Don't be lazy to understand Parampara. Don't be lazy to understand the conclusions of this Srimad Bhagavatam. It's very, very, very important. Everyone should be very eager to learn this knowledge. Don't be lazy at all. So a devotee who comes to Krishna consciousness is like very intelligent person, because unless he is not intelligent, unless one is intelligent, he cannot serve Krishna. If everyone is serving Krishna, that means they all are intelligent. Definitely. Without intelligence, they cannot come to Krishna service. So most of the devotees all came here because of the books, Prabhupada books. Maybe few of them because of maybe the Prasadam devotees like Antariksh. But like after they come here, so after they had Prasadam, once they chanted Maha Mantra, it's very easy to read the scriptures. That's what said Prabhupada, right? Once you heard Prasadam, it's very easy to understand scriptures, my books. And like once you recite, once you chant Maha Mantra, it's very easy. So laziness and lack of eagerness and no chanting. So if you start chanting, it's very, very easy to understand the scriptures. And as well as once you started reading scriptures, so automatically your consciousness will get, your anantas will go away. Okay, that is one point. Eventually the lack of faith, once even you understand this knowledge, but like this sometimes like okay in the material world I need to achieve so many things. Okay, exactly how major role it will, these scriptures will give in this particular situation. It's lack of faith. We don't surrender to Krishna, okay, we can read it in later. Okay, so it happens in such a way. So it's very important to understand the importance of the scriptures in the Bhagavatam. So I will show you that. So how we have a lot of information, we don't at least say we don't have a lot of time. Right? So always like we are so lazy. So we need to take protection. So I would like to ask, how many of you read Bhagavad Gita at least once? Yeah? Okay. Any other? Oh, yeah. Okay. So after that you left Bhagavad Gita or you started reading second time? Okay. So this is the thing, like it's very important to understand. So we need to keep on reading the same book again and again to understand the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita. When you read first time, you may understand the chapter names, what is the context. But if you read it next time, you will understand the connection between the chapters. What is the summary? What is the content? If you read more times, then you may understand the entire concept, what Krishna and Prabhupada is trying to convey to us. So it's very important to read again and again to understand the inner conclusion of these books. Okay. So that's why to protect from laziness, we need to take protection from Lord Buddhadeva as per the today's verse. And the last incarnation is Kalki Avatar, is a fierce incarnation. So he will simply come here to kill everyone, whoever is not following the scriptures. Like there are so many mundane philosophies they are creating everywhere. In India, it's not only a hub for IT, it is a hub for like different mundane philosophies too. If you go everywhere, in every corner, you can find one new philosophy. So like, how many of you come here with after trying different philosophies? Yeah, yeah. Even I have been into different philosophies. I've gone through like Muslim community, I've gone through like Christian community, and like I have been there. But this is the way only I am studying because the knowledge is like complete. It's true. So it's very important to understand what is true, what is complete. So the conclusion is this chapter tells about so many verses. If you just go through Namo, Dhruva Maharaj got from his spiritual master Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha. Like we are reading so many different verses, different mantras you can see. But like, can you apply it? Can you start reciting these things? Like in day-to-day life. So it's very important. Prabhupada says in book there may so many mantras, but until I permit it, you should not take them. So our acharyas gave Maha Mantra. Okay, in this age, Kali, especially Maha Mantra has high potency. So we must go to the Maha Mantra. So like if you really want to try some other mantras like for the protection, you can just like take a go and talk with speak with your spiritual master and see that how the conversation goes, and you can take appropriate action according to that. That's it. Any other question? Thank you very much. Any questions?
So the pramada is like obstacles in bhakti.
Pramada means is mainly the laziness, and as well as pramada means is not able to accept in the scriptures. For example, there is so many logics comes way because we have material knowledge. If someone says like in Kalki Avatar he comes on like the white cars which flies, you never seen this white cars which flies. Okay, so you think that okay, it's not possible, it's completely lie. Okay, you are not able to accept this thing, but to understand what exactly the meaning behind that. So with your own eyes, with your own logic, you cannot understand that. In Ramayana they say like 100 hours, 100 yojanas, the Hanuman crossed Lanka. But if you calculate that, it's more than that now. So the scriptures are wrong. If you say like that, no. So they don't want to explain you with the 100 yards and these things. When they explain Sylvias, they explain, or like Valmiki, when they explain in the poet form. When poet form they explain, they have given in such a way that the reader can understand the inner meaning of it. 100 is the specific, 100 yojanas is the specific meaning. If you go through these three modes of material nature is connected very deep meaning. So like Sudarshan Prabhu said that like the population is more is in Dwapar Yuga and like previous yugas, not in Kali Yuga. But our logic says how it's possible. It's not at all possible. But if you understand, try to understand what scripture says, if you keep on reading it, you will understand. So this pramada means not able to accept these scriptures with your own mental And even if you know knowledge, not reading it, laziness, just like giving high priority to other things, not to the scriptures.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful lecture. Prabhu, I just want to know, like, in which context you were mentioning, like, we should not, like, there are a lot of mantras in Bhagavatam, but we should ask for permission. For example, like, there's this one mantra when there are son of Kuberas after Damodari that they are doing like stuti. So it's just like you should not even recite them, or it's like okay if you just recite them once in a week or something like that. Because
So each mantra has different potencies. Okay. So it's based on the time this came to the situation. So I will give my example. Before I come to Krishna consciousness, I was going through the Srimad Bhagavatam classes from the speaker who is not from ISKCON. Okay. He explained entire Srimad Bhagavatam in different classes. Okay. But he mentioned when it's come to Surya Dev sloka, he mentioned how important that Surya Dev sloka. And he said everyone must know this. At least recite once in a day. And as well as when it's come to next verse, Kunti Dev has prayers. He said Vishnu Dev has prayers. And like they said, like you must know the Vishnu Sahasranam. You must know this Vishnu Dev Slokas. It will help you a lot. But as a person who have that much knowledge cannot recite those many mantras, if they are receiving this knowledge, this is important, this is important, this is important. At the end, I had nothing to do with any of these slokas. I just understand the scriptures, but I didn't follow any sloka, I didn't do any chanting. Okay? To understand in this particular age what is very important, okay, that is given by our acharyas. We need to follow. If you decide, if you want to decide, you can have a conversation with your spiritual master. He will give the brief about it.
yeah, I was just like wondering, like obviously we're gonna chant and complete our rounds, but I was like we should not even like okay. Sometimes it's like okay, you just like that verse and you want to memorize it. And you're like, I can use it for preaching, like Krishna is saying this verse over here. So in that case also it is applicable?
I don't think so. Like, this can be to explain to people like who may use it. It's not like there are few mantras like Gayatri mantra has very high potency. If you recite it wrongly, it's gonna backfire. Okay. So it's better to like understand like which mantra is having which potency to recite. So it's better go with the Acharya's words. I use which one.
Prabhu, can you open that? What are these Vedic recipes like? After that, next one. Yeah, so we will talk about various incarnations and various amshas. So what is that? Can you repeat?
Yes, Prabhu said it's very deep knowledge. So I tried to go through it and I didn't get a lot of time. That's why I asked him directly to please explain. And like he said like he says very deep knowledge and like I didn't get a lot of time to understand this. I tried. Yeah. Sorry for that. Yeah. Any other questions, Prabhu? Any other reflections, at least one reflection from me? That's it. One minute. Reflection, one reflection, one each.
You talk about pramada and how the laziness do not have faith in the knowledge and is rejecting it based on what you see or perceive. You should have a perspective like it's not existing.
Srila Prabhupada put this ecstasy, its purpose for us to nourish.
Like Prabhupada simplified the Vedas and understood Krishna's love in them.
that it should only come from a bona fide being.
So I like that the Vedic knowledge is the only true knowledge, and that even if you have like material knowledge, you can like devote it towards the Krishna service. So I like that.
Yeah, same applies. I mean, I'm also thinking about Vedic knowledge, but maybe like I need to go through a little bit more on to satisfy myself. Maybe like I'll speak with you, or maybe like I'll go through some other contents.
I like the example of Kapava shared how we should be focusing on the root, which is Krishna.
Even if you understand a lot of Vedas and if you be scholarly and everything, there's no benefit in that if you don't surrender to Krishna.
I like the example of the tree and the Srimad Bhakta being the only ripening fruit. How we should use our material knowledge and dovetail it to service for Krishna.
Why we should learn about Vedic principles and how they can help to re-establish our relationship with Krishna and who are we and what is the
Thank you very much. Prabhu, you want to say something?
I was just going to add, like, in Prabhupada's Gita, just translated by Prabhupada, he says, Krishna spoke to, Krishna personally instructed Arjuna on the chariot. But in other translations of the Gita, not in Sampradaya, the translator or whatever says, Krishna spoke something to Arjuna, but they don't know what.
Yeah.
This doesn't say what.
Yeah. That's correct. Hare Krishna.